Munster Championship, but Waterford's Munster victory put that in context. And then Cork put the show back on the road with their win over Limerick. Galway just failed to land the All-Ireland title last year, but this afternoon it was back to square one and a huge challenge for the tribesmen. The commentary is by Darragh Maloney.
Well, Cork have changed things after their narrow victory against Limerick. 19-year-old John Gardner moves to centre-back while Neil Ronan returns to the midfield. John Brown reverts to his best position of cornerback. Well, it's already been a busy afternoon for Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Played for 20 minutes in the Munster football final. Here he is receiving treatment from Dr. Con Murphy. We're not sure what the concern is, but he has to play now for hopefully the full 70 against Galway. Well, Galway didn't really learn a lot from their match against Down, but they've decided to make a change at full-back with Diarmuid Cloonan making his championship debut. Damien Hayes gets his chance in the corner. Expect positional switches from midfield upwards once the game starts. Well, the referee, one of the most experienced in the game, Pat Horan from County Offaly. Well, a huge crowd here in Thurles. Beautiful afternoon for hurling. The pitch in perfect condition, and they're ready for a cracker. And the game underway. First touch of the afternoon for Declan O'Brien of Galway. Those positional switches not very apparent at the moment, but it seems Richie Murray has gone to midfield already for Galway. Belted forward by John Gardner, 19 years of age. He was minor last year. That's Ollie Canning. Great clearance. Canning, one of the best cornerbacks in the game. Now it's Fergal Healy. Healy and Broderick key to how Galway will do today. Brilliant block down. That was Wayne Sherlock, the Cork captain, but Healy still going for Galway. Has support behind. Here's Eugene Cloonan. O'Sullivan is with him. It's a free to Galway. Well, have a look at this. A brilliant block from Wayne Sherlock on Fergal Healy. So a chance after just over 50 seconds for Eugene Cloonan to open his account in Thurles. He's done so, and Galway take the lead. That will settle them down very nicely indeed. Ollie Canning and Ben O'Connor. Here comes Canning. Good clearance, looks to find a man, can't do it. That was Mark Cairns and John Gardner. Sean O'Halpine has support left and right. Broderick, beautiful wrist work for Broderick. And here's Healy, and Healy has been pulled on by John Gardner. Well, there it is again, just the stick across the thigh of Fergal Healy. Cloonan looking for his and Galway's second point. Galway leading by 2 points to no score. We've been playing for 6.5 minutes. Wild pull from Neil Ronan. Richie Murray. Fergal Healy chasing this down with Sherlock. Sherlock being kept very busy by Healy. Sherlock's clearance, but it was into space, but only into the arms of Hardyman, and Hardyman hit that so well, and this could go over. It's a brilliant point from Derek Hardyman, and they have made the better start. 8 minutes on the watch. First one from play. All from Sherlock's clearance. Some fine approach work from Sherlock, but the clearance was poor. Nobody marking Hardyman, and that sailed over. Yards behind the post indeed from the right half back. Ollie Canning everywhere in the Galway full-back line. Eugene Cloonan out ahead of O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan with a wild pull, and Pat Horan has given Galway the free. You can see that Vaseline that was applied by the Cork doctor. Well, there's the pull from O'Sullivan, and it's a card for the Cork Jewel player. Would have put a lot of effort into the 20 minutes he played for the footballers, and it's a hot day here. Cloonan has recovered, and this to give them a 4-point cushion. Tricky angle, kept it low, and it came off the post. Hayes laying it back towards Cloonan on the left side this time, and he makes no mistake. Well, a fine point from Eugene Cloonan, his first from play. Donal Cusack again finding his half-forward line. Jerry O'Connor. There was a chop in there by one of the Galway players, Liam Hodgins, just saying hello to Alan Brown. Cork have had to wait 15 minutes for their first score, and they're off the mark with a free from Joe Dean. They need more. Declan O'Brien unable to take it for Galway, and they're in trouble here. Here's O'Brien. All very scrappy, a lot of Cork players getting drawn towards the ball, but they've got it now with Ben O'Connor to Joe Dean. Dean makes space for himself, and there's their first point from play. Cork now with 2 points to Galway's 5. He scored them both. Well, classic play from Joe Dean. Well, the Galway defenders were attracted towards the ball as well, and Dean was free. Drilled forward by Liam Hodgins, pulled on brilliantly by Mark Kearns. It comes through to Donal Cusack. Gets plenty of distance on his clearance. Hardiman jumped for it. Alan Cummins of Cork. Jerry O'Connor. Just two men inside. Timmy McCarthy hanging between the 65 and the 45. That's not a good ball from McCarthy. Ben O'Connor looks to retrieve. Difficult angle, but that is wonderful from Ben O'Connor. The pass from his teammates seemed to force him a little bit wide. The Cork are back in this. This was a classic score from Ben O'Connor. Really had to work to get this. Going wider and wider all the time. And that's an excellent point. They're a little bit happier now, the Cork fans. Alan Cummins, brilliant take from the Cork midfielder, and he puts them on the attack straight away. Pumped in. Big test for Dermot Cloonan. Now marking Alan Brown. Cloonan not exactly passing the test. Here's Brown. Joe Dean over his shoulder. How often over the years have we seen him do that? Hardly even looked at the post, but all from Dermot Cloonan's mistake. They're back to within a point. They had to wait 10 minutes for their first score. Brilliant from Dean. Well, this set the whole thing up from Alan Cummins. Wonderful out jumping Richie Murray. John Gardner. Gardner sweeping back well behind his defenders. Not getting too much distance in the clearance. Here's Kevin Broderick. A red wall in front of him. Lovely skill from Eugene Cloonan. No, it's Richie Murray indeed, and Murray has put it over. Just drifted inside. And Richie Murray gives Galway a 2-point cushion. They needed that score. They got off to such a blistering start. Fergal Ryan could do nothing about that. Mark Kearns laid off to David Tierney. Tierney not playing at midfield as his number suggests, but he's finding a way through away from Ryan. Blocked down, still Galway look for a score, and they've got it. Fergal Healy, after the fine block down by the Cork defence, and they're pulling away again, 3 points clear. Tierney made the incision in the Cork defence. It was blocked by John Brown, but nobody was watching Fergal Healy. Alan Cummins of Cork. Alan Brown trying to get there ahead of Dermot Cloonan. Has performed quite well in his championship debut. Cork really haven't put him under the pressure we expected him to be under before the game. Alan Cummins hit that well. Oh, and there's a mistake by Michael Crimmins, and Joe Dean has scored the goal that brings Cork level. Well, what a mistake from Michael Crimmins. Some blamed him for one of the goals Tipperary scored against him. You don't really see it there, but he had a chance to clear this ball. That's a much better shot of it. And a wonderful poacher strike from Joe Dean. Cathal Moore unable to hold it. Cork with their tails up, and this man in particular, Joe Dean, giving Gregory Kennedy quite a roasting at the moment. And that is going to drop dangerously in there. Crimmins gets it at the second attempt. Some of the crowd down the far end thought that was over. It was brilliantly hit by Dean, but just not enough distance on it. Gardner coming into his own at centre half-back, sweeping brilliantly. Distribution not so good. Liam Hodgins, the Galway captain. Less than 3 minutes to go to half-time. David Tierney. Well, they've had to work the hardest, Galway. Fergal Healy has got some space, should be a point, and is, and that's a good response just over a minute after Joe Dean's goal. Well, they needed this point just to settle things down again. Sign of a good side that they can respond so quickly after the blow of the Cork goal. Well, Sean O'Halpine out in front of his man. Support from Neil Ronan. Ronan with plenty of air on it. That looks really good, and it's a wonderful point from Neil Ronan. Sides level. This was brilliant, all set up by O'Halpine, his vision. Big distance out, wasn't it? And Ronan giving no lane, all sorts of headaches at the moment. Cloonan out with Dermot O'Sullivan, having to come very deep to get the ball. Tried to be too clever, and O'Sullivan down on his knees. The referee can't let that go on. Not safe. Alan Cummins and David Tierney, and there's the whistle for half-time, just a couple of seconds short of 36 minutes, but a very interesting first half. From Ollie Canning. Dean still going. Alan Brown. Brown. Oh, it's still there. It's gone in. Shawnee McGrath has got the goal. No, it will not be allowed. Square ball. Well, Shawnee McGrath was convinced, as were the Cork supporters. The umpire on the left of your picture. It's Jerry O'Connor being forced away from the Galway goal. Alan Kearns. First touch since coming in as a substitute. Away he goes, challenged by Fergal Ryan. Damien Hayes to David Tierney. Hadn't the confidence to have a shot himself. Damien Hayes out to Eugene Cloonan. Where is Dermot O'Sullivan, his marker? Cloonan has so much time to pick his spot. He was never going to miss. Tricky angle, but close in. The full-back from the Cork side was marked absent. Well, Hayes had to spot Eugene Cloonan, and he did, but the marking was very poor, and perhaps that's a tactic for the second half for Cloonan to go walkabout. Galway with a 1-point lead. John Brown of Cork, good relieving clearance. Joe Dean trying to get to it. Dermot Cloonan, they call him a career fullback. He's played there all his career for Athenry. Fouled by Alan Brown. Who'd be a manager? Well, the delay is for Eugene Cloonan, who has come all the way out to take this. His own 65-metre line is just about 2 metres to his left as we look at it. Cork just about able to deal with that. John Brown really does look so much happier at left corner back, but not a good clearance. Kevin Broderick of Galway, and Broderick's away, the trademark flick. Can he get through? Broderick still, and he put it over the bar. I thought he took far too many steps, but he's got the point. The referee may have been unsighted for a moment. 11 points to 1-6. So they've started. Just watch how many steps did he take here. I think the answer is far too many. But possession's so important from the puckouts from the goalkeepers. Alan Brown is now playing it full forward on Dermot Cloonan. Brown was like a hot potato, couldn't hold it. Declan O'Brien of Galway ran into trouble, the trouble in the shape of Jerry O'Connor and Alan Brown. Now what could Cork come up with from here? Kevin Broderick back helping out, and that's gone over the bar from Ben O'Connor. That's a good point. Cork living on scraps at the moment, but they're back to within 2. Galway had a chance to get this away from goal. Ben O'Connor. Well, have a look at this for a wonderful bit of skill from Timmy McCarthy on Declan O'Brien. That was the chance to clear it, and O'Brien wasted it. Wayne Sherlock, the Cork captain. Shawnee McGrath away from Greg Kennedy. Corner forward. Has to be out in front, and was, but he hasn't got the ball. Kennedy fences it clear. Mark Kearns. Kearns has hit that very well, and it's sailed over. That is an exquisite point from Mark Kearns. Well, it's a good response from Galway. John Gardner has played a fine game, but on that occasion just not tight enough. John Brown really has looked so accomplished at left corner back. Brian O'Keefe looking to win possession back for Cork. He's got a free, and it's a point they badly need if it could be sent over by Joe Dean. Liam Hodgins, the player who gave away the free. Well, the referee consulting with his umpire. And he's going to have a word with Timmy McCarthy. Dermot Cloonan, the Galway fullback, is down receiving treatment at the moment, and McCarthy will receive a yellow card from Pat Horan, the referee, after his... Well, it's a red card. Timmy McCarthy has been sent off, I think for... Well, you could see the signal there from Pat Horan. He must have hit Dermot Cloonan around the head with the hurley. And Cloonan is wearing a helmet. Well, this is the sending off. Just watch at the bottom of your picture. Oh dear. Well, that was Timmy McCarthy with the wild pull on Cloonan. I don't think he made contact at all, but the umpire saw enough to inform Pat Horan of what happened. Here's what happened again to Timmy McCarthy as you watch Cloonan with McCarthy beside him with the white helmet on, and they were pulling and dragging out of each other. McCarthy missed completely. Cloonan was very lucky he was down. Well, his side have a 2-point cushion, but it's very, very anxious for any manager at this stage of a championship match. No more chances for either side after this. Eugene Cloonan, that is superb. Puts them 3 in front, and you can see Cloonan has now moved out to the half-forward line. Alan Cummins couldn't hold. Richie Murray has had a fine game in the middle, and that caps his afternoon. Absolutely brilliant. And they're now 4 points and 2 scores ahead. 15 points to 1-8. Well, this is wonderful. We've seen some great long-range efforts in this match. That was superb. Now here's Joe Rabbit. Another score for Galway. Now even a point would be pretty crucial if they could go 5 clear. Broderick, yes, got it. Good point. Well, Cork have to leave gaps as they try and chase this match. It's certainly not out of their reach just yet. Cork need to do something pretty quickly if they are to have a future in this year's championship. Richie Murray, he'll be very pleased with his performance. Richie Murray. Well, this is Ben O'Connor of Cork. Put one over in the first half, but I think at the moment his side, with less than 6 minutes of normal time to go, oh dear, got it all wrong, and Liam Hodgins clears for Galway. Joe Rabbit over his shoulder, and Rabbit hit that brilliantly. He's back. That's a great score. and they're moving further and further away from Cork, all from that poor line ball from Ben O'Connor. And Rabbit, quickest to react. That was a great point. Here come Galway again. Fergal Healy has got another one, and they're pulling away. Cork can do nothing about this. Well, this is a brilliant exhibition of scoring, first from Rabbit and then from Fergal Healy. Inside the last minute of this game. Ben O'Connor of Cork. Now it's Derek Barron. Surely it's too little for Cork at this stage and way too late. Brian O'Keefe gets a point. The Blackrock man closing the gap a little bit, but it's a very big gap. Well, this a fine score from Brian O'Keefe. They need a couple of goals and a few more things as well, and there's only a few seconds remaining in this game. The Cork supporters came here full of hope as Rory Gantley has acres of space and time to pick his spot, and he really hasn't forgotten at all. That is a wonderful point. He scored 2 in a couple of minutes, and they are most convincing winners. John Gardner and others unable to stop this Galway tide. It's all over, and Galway are through. Cork are out. A wonderful display by Galway, particularly in the second half. Cork not helped by the sending off of Timmy McCarthy, but they buried the memory of last September, but they'd like to be able to do that in the All-Ireland final this year. An awful lot of hurling to go before they can even think about that. But Galway into the next round. It's the end of the road for Cork. The full-time score here at Semple Stadium in Thurles. Galway 21 points, Cork 1-9. No, you must be very happy with the way your team played.
Yeah, reasonably happy. I thought we struggled at times. Cork didn't play that well at all today. They've already been beaten in the Munster Championship by Waterford. They struggled against Limerick, and you know, a lot of people would question should they have won it at all. Some refereeing decisions towards the end. And they came down here today, and Cork didn't play that well, and we're not going to be fooled. We didn't play that particularly well either. When the man was sent off, we took control.
Go back into the first half. You made a fantastic start. You expected them to come back strongly at you, and they did.
They did, yeah. I mean, we were always afraid of goals against Cork, and you know, they got the goal, but we did got a good start. We felt that during the year and during the past 2 years, when we started bad in games, we performed badly throughout, so we needed a big start today and we got it. But I mean, it was very open, and we got huge scope. We also had a lot of wides, and we have a lot of work to be done.
What was the message from the selectors at half-time? Because you'd started really well, they'd clawed back, and they kind of came at you in waves.
Yeah, the job is just to stay plugging away, and hopefully, I mean, a lot of these games you have to rely on the breaks as well. We knew we started very well. Cork came back into it, but you'll always find in games where teams will have a period of dominance. I mean, we started very well. I think we had 5 points on the board very quick, but of course Cork came back. So, I mean, we just started plugging away in the second half, and probably we got the break with the sending off maybe.
I think we done enough to win it. You know, it wasn't a super performance by any means, but I think we done a job. Like, you know, and we're through to the next day, so we'll concentrate on that when it comes around again. Up.
Yeah, it was a big game for Galway hurling, but they proved